You are back in that hallway. You know the one. The wallpaper is peeling, the lights are flickering with that low electric hum, and the air smells like old dust. You try a door, locked. You try another, locked. And then, from the darkness behind you, you hear it, the sound, a footstep, a growl, a presence. You try to run, but your legs feel like they are moving through wet concrete. You've been here before. Last month, last week, maybe even last night. You wake up gasping, heart hammering against your ribs, sweat cooling on your forehead, with one frantic thought looping in your brain. Why does this keep happening? Most people brush this off as a glitch, a random firing of neurons while the brain takes out the trash. But what if I told you that this loop isn't a mistake? What if that recurring nightmare is actually a distress flare, fired from the deepest, most primitive part of your psyche, trying to get your attention? That dream you can't escape isn't haunting you, it's hunting you. And it won't stop until you decode the message it carries. We need to rethink what sleep actually is. We tend to view it as a shutdown mode, like turning off a computer. But biologically and psychologically, sleep is more like a defragmentation process. When your conscious mind, the part of you that worries about taxes, social media, and polite conversation finally goes offline, the subconscious takes the night shift. It starts processing the millions of data points, emotions, and micro-traumas you absorb during the day. Usually, it files them away neatly, but sometimes it hits a file it can't process, an unresolved conflict, a suppressed fear, a trauma you refuse to look at. The brain doesn't know what to do with this corrupted file, so it tries to run the simulation again and again and again. This is the mechanism of the recurring dream. It is your mind's way of saying, hey, we have a problem here, and we need a resolution. The pioneers of psychology, figures like Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, were obsessed with these loops. Freud saw them as wish fulfillment gone wrong, a pressure valve for repressed desires. But Jung went deeper. He saw recurring dreams as the self, the organizing center of your psyche trying to wake you up, not physically, but spiritually. He believed that the dream recurs because the lesson hasn't been learned. It is a relentless teacher that refuses to let you graduate until you pass the test. So, let's look at the test. Let's decode the 6 most common curriculum modules your subconscious is forcing you to study. The first, and perhaps the most universal, is the chase. You are running for your life. The pursuer might be a faceless shadow, a monster, or a specific person. The terror is visceral. But here is the twist. The dream isn't about the monster. It's about the act of running. In your waking life, you are avoiding something. It could be a difficult conversation, a looming deadline, a grief you haven't cried out, or even a part of your own personality, like your anger or your ambition that you are afraid to own. The distance between you and the monster in the dream represents the distance between you and the truth. As long as you run in your waking life, you will run in your sleep. Then there is the sensation of the void, the falling dream. You are standing on a precipice, or maybe just walking down the street, and the ground vanishes. Your stomach lurches into your throat as you plummet. This is often accompanied by a physical spasm called a hypnic jerk, but the psychological weight is heavier. This is the architecture of insecurity. The subconscious uses gravity as a metaphor for control. When you dream of falling, it is a red flag that something in your waking life, your career, your relationship, your financial stability feels like it is collapsing. You have lost your footing. You feel unsupported, as if the safety net you thought was there has dissolved. But maybe your anxiety is more social. You find yourself back in a classroom. The fluorescent lights are buzzing. You look down at a test paper and realize you haven't studied. In fact, you haven't attended this class all semester. Or you are standing backstage, the curtain is rising, and you don't know your lines. This is the unpreparedness dream. It plagues high achievers. It doesn't matter if you are 40 years old and haven't taken a test in 2 decades. The feeling of being a fraud is timeless. This dream is the manifestation of imposter syndrome. It surfaces when you are facing a new challenge or being evaluated. The subconscious is screaming, "I am not ready," and everyone is about to find out I'm a fake. It is a brutal reflection of the pressure you put on yourself to be perfect. Sometimes the horror isn't about movement, but the lack of it, the trap. You are in a box, a coffin, a locked room. Or worse, you are in your own body, trying to scream, but your throat is paralyzed. You try to punch, but your arms move through molasses. This is one of the most frustrating experiences a human can have. It mirrors a waking life situation where you feel silenced or stuck. Are you in a dead-end job, a controlling relationship, a family dynamic where your voice is ignored? Your mind is physically reenacting your emotional paralysis. It is showing you exactly how powerless you feel, hoping the frustration will finally drive you to break the chains in the real world. Then we enter the territory of body horror, the lost dream. You are talking to someone, and suddenly you feel a grit in your mouth. You spit into your hand, and it's your teeth. They are crumbling, falling out like Tic Tacs. This is primal. Teeth are tools of survival. They are how an animal eats and defends itself. To lose them is to lose your power. This dream often hits during major life transitions, menopause, job loss, a breakup. It is about a loss of vitality, a fear of aging, or a deep-seated anxiety that you are losing your grip on who you are. It's a crisis of identity, played out in the mouth. Finally, there is the exposure. You are walking through your office or a crowded mall, and you realize with a cold wash of shame that you are naked. This isn't about nudity, it's about vulnerability. You feel exposed. You are afraid that people are seeing the real you, flaws and all, and that they will reject it. It's the ultimate fear of social judgment. But look closely at the dream next time. Often, the people in the dream don't even notice you're naked. That is the subconscious dropping a truth bomb. You are judging yourself far more harshly than anyone else is. So, you have the code. You know what the dreams might mean, but knowing isn't enough. You need to break the loop. You need to move from being a victim of your sleep to an architect of it. We are going to use 3 tools to do this. The first is forensic journaling. Most people forget 90% of their dreams within 10 minutes of waking. You need to catch the data before it evaporates. Put a notebook by your bed. The second your eyes open, grab it. Do not look at your phone. Do not talk to your partner. Write. Don't worry about the narrative arc. Write down the feeling. Was it panic, grief, frustration, the color of the room, the specific sound of the footsteps? Over weeks, you will see the pattern. You will see that every time you fight with your boss, you have the falling dream. The journal turns the vague ghost into hard data. The second tool is active imagination. This is a Jungian technique where you treat the dream characters as real, separate entities. Find a quiet space while you are awake. Close your eyes and summon the monster from the chase dream. Visualize it standing in front of you, but this time, Don't run. Stand your ground. In your mind's eye, ask it, who are you? What do you want? Listen for the answer. It might sound crazy, but your subconscious often answers back. The monster might turn into a crying child, your inner child. It might turn into your father. By engaging with the symbol, you strip it of its power to terrorize you. The third tool is the nuclear option for nightmares, imagery rehearsal therapy, IRT. This is used clinically for PTSD patients. You take the script of your nightmare and you rewrite the ending. Literally write it down on paper. If you are falling, write that you sprout wings and fly. If you are being chased, write that you turn around and you are holding a flamethrower. If you are naked, write that you snap your fingers and appear in a tailored suit. Then, visualize this new ending for 5 minutes every day. You are reprogramming the neural pathway. You are teaching your brain that the old loop is obsolete and installing a new software update. Your dreams are not random static. They are the most honest conversations you will ever have with yourself. They are the shadow side of your life, begging to be integrated into the light. The recurring dream is a friend who is willing to shake you, scare you, and wake you up night after night until you finally listen. So tonight, when you close your eyes, don't be afraid of the hallway. Walk down it, open the door, and see what's waiting to be found.